In the couple of minutes we got left, let's talk about independence. You said, you were on the Debate Night Leaders programme, of course, and you said that the decision as to whether or not we should remain in the Union was a matter for the people of Scotland. Sir Keir Starmer came here on Friday and said, with you at his side, no negotiations on independence, even if the SNP win a majority of MPs in Scotland on the 4th of July. So it's actually not a matter for the people of Scotland, is it? It's a matter of your discretion as to when the people of Scotland get a chance to decide on this.
Look, of course it's for the Scottish people to decide, and they have a choice to make on the 4th of July, whether we wake up to 5 more years of the Tories or we start the process of change with a Labour government.
I'm asking you about independence and what the route out of this union is if the people of Scotland choose to take it.
And specifically on independence, we've been really clear in this election campaign. I don't support independence. I don't support a referendum. There isn't a consistent majority for independence. There isn't a majority for a referendum right now.
There was a majority for independence at the last Scottish Parliament elections just a couple of years ago.
I'm happy to relitigate the debate in 2021. I don't think we should use the people's votes in the middle of a pandemic, when many of them were saying thank you and actually are feeling betrayed now by that thank you in a COVID pandemic.
Well, that's a caveat.
In a COVID pandemic.
To a democratic comment
that was a pandemic election in which people were making a decision.
You can give any election a tag and say it doesn't count. What does the Brexit election not count?
On COVID recovery, and where has been the COVID recovery? Instead, we've had 3 years of utter chaos and division from the SNP. But specifically on the important question is, as I say, we may disagree on the final destination for Scotland, but the vast majority of people in this country want change. They want to get away from this Tory government, and the best way of doing it.
You don't speak on behalf of the people of the country. Let me ask you the really important question.
I hope will speak very loudly.
I've asked every unionist leader, the leader of every unionist party that sat on that seat, the same question, and nobody's given me a satisfactory answer, I think, or a coherent answer yet. What is, if this union is a voluntary union, the participants in this union can leave if the mood takes them, what is the democratic route out of this union for Scotland if that's what its people decide?
Well, I go by what other people have said in nationalist parties is the settled will of the Scottish people.
So there
is no settled will of the Scottish people. The only thing the Scottish people...
How will you be satisfied they've demonstrated that will, if not by the majority of votes like they did in the last Scottish election?
The only settled will of the people of Scotland is an overwhelming majority for change.
What's overwhelming?
Well, I think if you look at this country, I would imagine over 80% of this country want to get away from this rotten Tory government. And
I'm asking you not about the Tories, I'm asking you about independence.
They have an opportunity to do it.
What do you need to see? What does your party, what does Sir Keir Starmer need to see from the Scottish people? How can they demonstrate that desire in such a way that he will finally say, OK, that's fine, you get a referendum?
But Martin, this is what I'm saying to you is, there is no consistent majority for independence. There is not a majority of people that want a referendum.
What would constitute a sustained majority?
But there is not a majority for the status quo either, but there is an overwhelming majority for change, and on the 4th of July people can vote for that.
I'm not sure we got to the answer there.
To make sure we get rid of the Tories, to put Scotland at the heart of a Labour government, and to deliver that change our country needs.
We still don't know what a sustained majority means. We may revisit this, I'm sure.
Some SNP politicians have talked about settled wills before, so perhaps go and ask them.
We certainly will. We've got just somebody on the programme next week. Anna Sarwar, thank you very much indeed for being here. We will speak to you again very soon, I'm sure.